every Monday at 12 o'clock on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. Hey, hey, what are you looking for? Hey, oh, what are you waiting for? What you waiting for? What you waiting for? What you looking for? What you waiting for? What you looking for? You possibly could be looking at the 18th episode of So. You think you can do hair? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl Ladosha, right? AKA Key Lolo. And then right over there, y'all know who it is. The best co-host on the planet, the one and only, hey, Cheryl Morrow, aka the Hair Oracle. And we are officially 18 episodes in. And this afternoon, we have an hour of power. Remember that? An hour of power. Jerry Falwell, all the little, the little TV ministers. An hour of power dedicated specifically to students who are attending barbering, cosmetology schools of aesthetics, and of course, your instructors and school owners. This particular podcast is dedicated just for you because according to our former intern, Miss Samaria Smith, y'all need to be speaking directly to the students because nobody is really talking to you guys, giving you guys some tips on what's going to happen, what you can look forward to, how to circumvent, maybe even just process all the trials and tribulations and triumphs. You have a lot of triumphs while you are attending barbering and beauty school and its various disciplines. So we are very happy that you are watching this podcast, which I just want to say, our goal is to have 2,500 subscribers, and it is official. We are at 2,400 plus. So we are almost there. So we're asking you guys, if you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel because Cheryl and I, we truly appreciate your support. And it is our goal to really be here, remain here as America's favorite podcast about Afro hair because for some reason, folk just don't. I feel like Boys in the Hood. If you ever watched Boys in the Hood, remember Ice Cube after Ricky got shot and he was like, either they don't know
or they don't want to know.
It don't show, or they just don't care about what's happened with the Boys in the Hood. That what anybody remember that part? Put the one up for Ice Cube, drop a little Ice Cube or Ice Wind or something in the chat. The late John Singleton, he was the producer, the writer. That was one of those iconic movies. I loved Boys in the Hood because I actually lived that. I was in college when that was out. I lived in the hood and the helicopters, what they call it, the birds, flying over. That is a very lived experience. So if you're from the hood, peace up, peace up, peace up. We got this, okay? We got this. And so this is why Cheryl and I are here because either it don't show, they don't know, or they just don't care about Afro hair in the barber and beauty industry. And so it is our goal to highlight these issues and, of course, bring about some solutions, some excitement, some education, some innovation, of course, some connections. You got to have some referrals and linkages so you can know who the key players are and who ain't, because there's a bunch of ain'ts in the industry. Which leads us to our 18th episode topic, which is all about the hate on the new barbers, the new barbers and cosmetologists, your nail techs, your makeup artists. Like social media is just run amok with the hate on new barbers and new cosmetologists. So we're going to kind of work with you students and instructors and school owners through this process in like 4 ways, okay? So one, we just got to talk about, the run and tell it, what's with the run and tell it, you know what I'm saying? We got to go there, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're on social media and they gonna run and they gonna tell it. Then we have to talk about the actual training. I don't think people really understand what cosmetology and barbering, what is this education, actually, entails. And then, well, I'm sorry, the education first, and then we will go into the actual training. I don't think people understand what training is. So we got education, we have training, and then four, just being new. Everybody try to. I mean, it's like how they hating on the president, right?
Oh,
Look at how he was stuttering. He was like this. Now, if anybody ever lives with the elder or talked to an elder or got a grandma or even work or even as a cosmetologist, you're servicing, just because, old people aren't talking as fast and foxy, don't think these folks are stupid, okay? And so that's the same thing about our future, barbers and cosmetologists and all the beauty, experts, future beauty experts. Don't think these people are stupid. So we hope that by the end of our 18th episode, you'll be able to take these four talking points, which again, run and tell it. Cochise from Cleveland. I'm telling it all. Why y'all run and tell it? Why y'all always, going? Why that? Sure, we're going to talk about that. And again, we have to get you guys to understand the education. I think of the public. One of my reluctance about becoming a cosmetologist was that everybody swears they are smarter than a cosmetologist and a barber. I don't even know what that's all about. So we're going to talk about the education, and we'll talk about the training, and then we're just going to talk about the realities of what it is to enter it so that you, the students, can be confident and work your way through. Because of course, Cheryl, right? This is a part of the process, right?
absolutely.
They're gonna throw shade on you because you're new. Cheryl lived it. Cheryl, I know you caught it. When your last name is Morrow, good. Let's just start there because that's a run and tell it. I'm sure everybody was like, I'm about to
I've
tell
had
your
so many.
I'm about to tell your daddy on you. That's right, guys. Hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate you already. Come on through. We see y'all. Come on in. They about to tell. They about to tell their daddy on you, Cheryl. So, uh,
Oh God. Oh, King Lolo, come on now. That's not only were they gonna tell my daddy, they were gonna say, "Oh, just don't think you gonna get a pass because who your daddy is. You got to do this, and you got to show and prove. In fact, since your last name is Mar, you better bring it. Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
dang, you kind of you was getting hazed by the public. So your public was hazing you and letting you know that you better bring it or else, Jesus.
No, no,
It,
it was a total situation of gaslighting and then threatening and then raising the bar all at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if you are watching this and maybe you're a legacy, where your mom or your dad owned a barbershop or a hair salon or a skincare business or a nail salon, and now you're at the helm and you're taking over or you're coming in, drop your experience in the chat. So this is the open discussion and we want to hear from you. We have Facebook, we have YouTube, and of course, we have Instagram. So welcome Instagram to the 18th episode. Again, everybody, welcome to the 18th episode of So You Think You Can Do Hair. We're going to talk about the hate on the new people entering the industry. Our barbers, our cosmetologists, our nails. Me and Cheryl got our nails did, as y'all can see. Okay. We're going to get some nails.
What color you got?
I got different shades of pink,
Different
So I
shades.
got different shades of pink.
This week I chose emerald.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna get some nail people on. I don't want y'all to think all we're gonna talk about is hair. I know y'all y'all don't have no nail techs. We're gonna get some nail techs on. Just hold your underwear, okay? Just don't get the grata. Get that grata out. We're coming, nail techs. We're coming, estheticians. We're coming. So Cheryl, let's hop right into it. Let's start off with run and tell it.
Mm-hmm.
I like social media. I love the new yellow pages, which are Google reviews. Let your fingers do the walking, so to speak. And so now you have this automatic platform where back in the day, you used to have the Better Business Bureau. Let me show them, because some of y'all may not. They like, what you talking about, Key Lolo? This, I don't even know. I'm sure the Better Business Bureau.
No, it's still
Just
there.
okay. So let's kind of show you guys the old school way, because back in the day, when you had an issue with a particular business, all you did was you made a phone call, right, Cheryl? And here it
Right.
is. You get that, you make an official complaint, and they really wanted to know, like, well, what happened? And so the Better Business Bureau would actually take the complaint and would put it in their archives, if you will. They actually, you could find this online. This was when the computers, before it was go viral, you
Mhm.
could actually get a report and learn about the concerns that the public, or complaints that the public made about a particular business. So this is, and then if you had a BBB on your business, what did that mean, Cheryl?
Oh, you a member or something?
And that meant you were trusted, that because they
Absolutely.
kind yeah, that they kind of put you through the rigors of your customer service, your credibility, or your people who they say they are. So this was a way to kind of vet, so the public could see that if you had a BBB in your window, you pretty much was a legitimate
Yeah,
business.
that was the ultimate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Business.
I had the Better Business. As a matter of fact, I was so good with the Better Business, bro. I ain't trying to. I ain't trying to. Come on, y'all ain't trying to do my own horn. But the Better Business Bureau actually referred an intern. That's
Really?
really, really,
Wow.
yeah. The person actually wrote a complaint about cosmetology school. That, of course, that was, and the person was like, well, not only are we going to, because they, by law, they have to actually report they write up the complaint.
Hmm.
So I had the Better Business, but it's not the big, to do that it used to be. So
Hmm.
now the public doesn't have a way. So let's start with there. How, because there is no Better Business Bureau, and people are running and they're telling it. So let the students know, number one, why do people run and tell it? And then number two, how can they, starting out in the industry, prepare to let the public know? I might be new, because the public don't necessarily know you knew unless you tell them. They may not
Right.
know. Okay. And is that a requirement? Do you need to tell people I'm new? So let's start off with that. Why do people want to tell it? Do you need to tell people? And then how can, because there's no Better Business Bureau. So what are these students, these new stylists and barbers and nail techs, what are they to do? So let's start there.
Well, let me just say this: they do have their. It's a millennial generation version of the Better Business Bureau. It was called Yelp, right? And Yelp allowed you to. Did you ever run into Yelp? Yelp
I
reviews.
I got chewed out on Yelp. A customer. That's when I learned that I was terse. Now I am a fan of writing complaints. I do think the public needs to hear. So and you need to hold people accountable. And you can read it on Yelp. And I use complaints to make it better. I don't want to jump ahead, but let's just, yes. So
Right,
I
right,
am
right, right,
familiar.
right,
Yeah.
right, 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 right. And I think the reason why they go tell it because it's a defense mechanism. It's how they get back at you. I mean, it's because of course when you paid your money for something or you experienced something and you traded money for something and your expectations were let down, that's part of their defense mechanism. And so that's the only power and voice they have if they feel they've been done wrong, right? Now, unfortunately, it can be used as a um, reprimanding or, and it's not just to give it, give your critique. Some of them get on there and be very vicious, and that's their way of having a say or having power.
Now these are students, and of course we're talking about people because they're about to enter the industry.
Hmm.
Is there a way to kind of circumvent that a person like where at what point does a new person fail before that person runs the tell it? So could they prevent that or just let them go? I don't care what you write about.
Hmm. Well, one of the things that when we make appointments, you should get their full information. You should get their phone number, their cell phone number. You should get their email, okay? And you should get. There's a reason why we have some. If you go to a chiropractor, you go to a doctor's office, they want your phone number and they want your birthday, your date of birth, and things of that nature. So they could have just a little profile. It's called a profile. Everybody has a profile. Everybody knows what their footprint is about. And so you're supposed to be able to have some way of contacting them, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
know when they're, and all students, and of course I'm talking to you, but you do know when someone leaves unhappy, or you know when you have been violated by a customer. And so when you have that information, when they either book appointment or you log their profile information, don't let them leave without a conversation. Don't.
So let's role play this for the students. All right, we got y'all. We got y'all. Okay, now you didn't graduated. Now you're in your loft, or maybe you're at an actual hair salon, and you made a faux pas on the sideburns. So what is up here? Guilty. God dang it, I'm guilty. That's what I learned. I'm not going to be a barber. I'm not cutting hair. And so the customer goes like this, meaning one sideburn is up and one sideburn is low. And so now, like, bruh, like what you doing? You
And
you messed up. I'm about to get married. I'm going out tonight. I got a photo shoot. I don't want my sideburns up. Now I got to take, now I'm pissed. And, sis, I let a sister do my hair. I let this young girl do, and now look at me. Now what you gonna do? Because
okay,
I'm pissed. Like, damn, I'm
yeah,
pissed. Slap the Kate off.
right.
What is a student to do? I mean, I'm sorry, they're new now. They're in their own space, or maybe they are actually working and they messed up the sideburns when it's high, when it's low. He says he's pissed, male or female. He going off on both of them. He just snatched the cape off. Now what? He
Well,
don't want to fight you. He ain't gonna fight you, but he is pissed.
right, right, right. Well, at that point, depending on the time lapse in between that important event, usually if they're in the barbershop, it's the day of or it's the day before, right? Because they're not getting a fresh cut a week from the event, so you don't have time for hair to grow back. What you do is at that immediate juncture, right? You either have to take them all off, right? Or you can do some cosmetic work, but don't let them leave, or I will come on site at the wedding right before, and I will come in your dressing room and I'll make sure that I rectify the situation.
So you're encouraging new barbers, new cosmetologists. You're saying you have to go above and beyond because
Absolutely.
that written complaint, does it really matter? Like, I don't care. Go on about your little funky little stanky review.
And let me just say this. Customers, and I want you guys to know this is some customer psychology. One of the things that I have seen in my own office kind of environment, customers are not know you're human. Customers know you're human. And customers know you make mistakes. And yeah, they may be heated in that moment. But if you acknowledge it right then and there, and you apologize, and then you give them a path to being able to rectify it to where they can get You're going to give them a courtesy, plus you're going to give them their money back, and you're going to make them. It's called make them whole.
Right, but sure. Now, it ain't that bad. Bro, you act like I just took your whole, it ain't even really that big of a difference. I mean, is one person really going to see over there? I mean, can I justify that I don't think it's that bad? Because I'm not about to kiss your butt over something that's insignificant that one side burns up when it ain't like people looking at, can I justify? Should I be trying to justify that mistake? Even if I think it's petty that you going on like this, like, come on, really?
Well, let me just say this: he's going to pay you $25 for that. Let's say he paid you $25 for that, right? But you, as a stylist, is a business. You are a stylist is how you make your money. And having a style business is how you service customers. So the skill is about you, but your service is about them. So you're gonna let $25, right, stand in the way. You're going to eat your pride. You're going to shut your mouth, and you're going to make sure that they pay you forever and become a customer, and then to trust you. And then you're going to be getting $10,000 out of them because they're going to be your client forever. So you're going to let $125 and a little bit of, skin off your ego. We have to think about that because at the end of the day, we are in business. We are trying to have careers. We're not just trying to take it personal and let that $125 stand in the way of 5,000 because he
But
or
I
she.
just I just feel like, when you're new,
Mhm.
I mean, how is the new person like? I mean, is it justifiable that the customer really is being petty? And before you answer that, what's up? Instagram is coming through real hard. We got my boss, Lavina Joseph, is in the chat, so drop them L's. So we appreciate you so much. There's a lot of people coming through on Instagram. But sure, is it at any point that they just being petty? Can I just like acknowledge like you're being persnickety, you're being a butt wipe, bro. Your sideburns is not that bad. Can I ever justify, or do I really need to do what you're advising, which is take the high road and say, personally, I think he's being petty, but for my business, I'm going to do these suggestions that you just made. So can
Well,
I justify it or?
yeah, of course you can. I mean, because the customer is petty about the sideburns, but don't you be petty about your business.
Ow! Hold on. That right there, this right here. Come on, Instagram. Y'all know I'm about to go ahead on and drop the motherfucking bomb. Damn, that's fire. Don't be petty about your business. We taking it
Mhm.
through.
Right.
You're saying that
I
when we
know, right, and I know that the because you have to remember the customer already knows that the mistake is not that bad. The customer, you guys got to believe in your customers. They're resilient. They're just mad in that moment. They're just an asshole in that moment. But you have to make sure that you preserve your reputation, your skill sets, represent. Don't lose your cool. Okay, it's not about the sideburn, it's about your business, and make sure that you go over and beyond. Make sure you overcompensate for the mistake so you minimize the mistake. If you don't overcompensate, then you're making the mistake bigger because their irritation and frustration is going to lead them to be ultra petty, and then you're going to be defensive. You are there. In fact, let's just say, right, you found a fly in your soup. And guess what? They replace the soup and you're fine. But what you wanted, and then they go, hey, the meal is on us. And next time you can bring a friend, and that will be on us too. And we are very,
But
See,
Cheryl, let's talk like a student. They got the money. I'm new. I got to pay my booth rent, or I got to pay my loft rent, or I got to split my commission, or it's not my salon. Can I really afford to offer, give them their money back and go there and make it right? I'm just trying to help the students out because this is live.
but here once again, we were talking about a complete investment in that relationship. Now, if you don't want relationships with your customers, then you're not talking about being in business. You just trying to really get, you hustling.
Mm,
You're hustling. And that is unfortunately not sustainable because customers, how you make profit is on returns. You don't make profits, you pay expenses when they first come because you're trying to build. It's those returns and referrals and referrals. That's when you start growing and expanding and start creating a wonderful lifestyle for yourself to where you can go on vacation and you can do things and buy things and actually be happy, take care of your families. That is the actually ultimate goal. So you actually can't really um, afford to be an asshole back. You really can't afford it because it's not going to be sustainable. And I understand that when we're starting out, and that's one of the things. That's why when you started Kilo Low, you said you must mention that you're new, because guess what? Guess where you were new? In beauty school.
right.
Every customer was.
Okay, I got you. So that's going to lead us into our second conversation, our second point, which is explain to the students the difference, because we're going to go education and we're going to go training. So you're saying that you have to admit that you're new. I was told not to ever do that. Yes, I was
Wait.
told if
Admit
they
that.
don't, yeah, if they don't ask, don't tell that you are new behind the chair. So let's get a poll going. We see Instagram is looking pretty good. What's up, Southern Bella? WLOD, Illa Jerem, Frisa, Bastam, Sir Pooh. We love you, K Slay, and all day F Paul 316. What's happening? What's happening, good people? And then also right here over on we're doing looking good on Facebook as well. So how many people would tell that they are new? Um, so I didn't. So I'm going to put no because at the time I was told not to. So we'll see. And if you're watching this post live, please stay interactive, stay involved with us so we can help you out. I was told to say no. So Cheryl, talk about why it is important because you said that Cheryl looking like I'm not even going to look at you. Cheryl said you got to tell people that you're new, and then do we talk about that education? Uh, how are new students to carry that education into that space?
Well, just because you're new doesn't mean you're unskilled. You're just new to the customer experience.
Let me drop that bomb. Could you repeat that again?
Just because you're new doesn't mean you're unskilled. You're very skilled, right?
You killing on the day, Cheryl.
Right? And when you allow them to know that this is, your first couple of days or your first couple of weeks, and you really want to them to be comfortable and you want to be transparent, transparent creates intimacy. The customer actually automatically becomes your advocate. Automatically becomes your advocate. Okay. And they actually help you. They actually will hold your stuff for you. They are not trying to pay you. They want to make sure that, and believe me, once customers become your advocate, they will fight for you in the street about somebody else coming in there bullying you or doing something to you, or they will stand up for you because they all, and I know we don't really talk about buyer and consumer and seller and beauty psychology, but it's really something about for you guys to realize that every customer is somebody's daughter, is somebody's mama, is somebody's son. It's we are all basically the same people. We know how we feel when we don't get what we want, but we give them a path to say, and we do it every day because you tip people, right? And
Right.
they want to know why you didn't tip. And I think that the last time I was there with you in Cleveland, we went to breakfast, and we actually got in a conversation about her being new, right? Because I can tell her body language, and so after that, I actually gave her a tip that she didn't deserve, but I explained why I was doing it because I wanted her to get the detail. And if you're gonna be, she says she likes being a waitress, she loves it. I says, but you cannot forget to bring them their coffee.
Hmm.
So when we talked about it, and I says, because I want you to do well, I want you to pay attention because I want you to get tips because you actually deserve it. And when I said that, but you have to get the customer on your side. Just be transparent. You don't necessarily, you're not unskilled. You do know what you're doing. You have to get your feet, your bearings, your rhythm, the rapport, the hello. But it actually, in my opinion, it endears the customer to you. And they start.
Wow. Well, I guess Monica says she concurs because new is not an excuse. You study, you train, you're a certified professional. Customer service and professionalism is key. That applies to all professions, whether you're new or not. And she says, own it. It's a mistake made and you can move past it. Okay. Cheryl says, all right, aye, aye, Cap. Also, Cheryl wants to show you guys how to go ahead on and hit that thumbs up button. We're looking really good on all platforms. There are no words to say how much we appreciate you. But Cheryl said, come on, if y'all could just do this one thing.
Press that button, press that button, press that button. Come on, Key Lola, press that button.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
All right, so hit that thumbs up button, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. We appreciate you. We see our views are coming through really, really good. We are 2 points in to our 18th episode, which again is about the hate. You guys are, the hate on the new, as Stefano used to call them new jacks, the new jacks in the industry, they're getting a lot of hate, a lot of shade. Primarily, it's to run and tell it all on social media. They're in their cars, they're crying about the mistakes you've made, how had collected a deposit, you're nowhere to be found, you messed up, one sidebar up, one sidebar down, and you're feeling like it ain't that serious. Chill out. And we're learning. You are skilled, but it's unanimous. It's not an excuse. We have to own up to it. How do they carry their education into the newness? What part of that education are you encouraging the new barbers and cosmetologists and makeup artists and nail people? What part of that education should they really be bringing in to help maybe circumvent, and you could use it to intervene?
Mm-hmm. Use your education to make sure you ask questions, right? People who are new to you and you are new to them love questions because questions, what? Makes people think you're interested. It's an automatic. If you're selling something or communicating, to make sure that you know that a person is concerned, it's because we ask each other questions. Oh wow, what about this? What about that? Or what did you come in for today, ma'am? Or what would you like that you didn't like that we did last week? What did you like? They will pour their heart out. Thought you never asked because people like to talk about themselves. And when you ask questions, use your education. Let's say about they're getting ready to get nails or they're getting a lineup. Have you ever tried a different lineup? I know that you like a certain haircut, but could I try another hairline on you? Okay, well, you've tried it before? Let me show you a picture of it. It's instantly engagement. So just use your education. Okay, what you like.
Yeah, and I think that is so important. Because I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm always digging. Okay, so I did a little digging on the advancing beauty and barber. Oh, this was actually, I'm sorry, it was through the Association of cosmetology educators. Okay, and so here, and we're going to tell you guys why you must use this education. So let me present this right here. Here we go, right here, Cheryl. Let me just kind of bring it up here. So here is now, they are telling you what your income is looking like, right? So
Mhm.
there it is. They're saying that this is pretty much, now this is recent. You're looking at, this is not old. This is actually very recent. So they're saying the graduation rate, here is your loan debt. Here is your median salary. All right. And these are the number of professionals that are in the sector. And of course, down here, they're talking about the common programs offered, by your school. So let's go up here to your debt. Your education is the investment. And so, Cheryl, talk, because I think they kind of don't make the connection that even if they're getting a loan or a grant, maybe some of you guys are receiving grants where you're not paying all of it. Um, Talk about that investment in that education and why you really want to carry it into your workspace immediately and not do what I was taught. I was taught, if they don't ask, don't tell, do the job.
And I think that debt, even the conversation of debt forgiveness is like really popular. It's people really understand your personal investment, but I do think that make sure, and I think that just be mindful of one thing. Your education is not just for your license, right? It is for you to be able to utilize it in your specialties, in your consultations, in your shampooing. It's not linear to the point. It doesn't have a stop sign as soon as you get the license. I think that all of us have our favorite subjects because the way we're talking about it is use your education. And that's a big word because that's the whole gamut. Education does include training, but pick pick a portion of your experience during beauty school.
Mm-hmm.
You have a favorite. You have something that you're really good at. And then match that with you're really passionate about. Make sure that you do something that you did in beauty school every day that you liked and now that in your preferred professional environment. So you can have what we call a perpetual kind of experience that it didn't stop just because you graduated or it didn't stop just because, you got your license and you passed state board. That's not the goal. The goal is for you to keep having a continual.
Right. And when you look at the income earning potential at 30 hours a week, that's very realistic and that's not bad income. Because remember, a portion of that income you're going to use to pay to go back to the loan. But your longevity, which is what I like that you're talking about,
Mhm.
that you can have in your career when you actually utilize the information, the education. I love your example of, I know you're probably used to your fades or your lineups being this way, but may I show you a new way? Because while I was in school, and then show the picture, I find that customers are very open to anything new. And then that's where your confidence is. And that's going to get you a lot closer to this $54,000. But look what 10 hours more into your career can jump. You're jumping almost what, $26,000 up to
Yes.
$80,000 just by adding on 10 more hours into your work week. And you can do that when you work from your passion and carry that education with you. I mean, doctors, they put up their their PhDs. They put up all their certifications. If they learn how to do Botox or plastic, whatever they are learning, they're always showcasing, their broadened or heightened education. And so you need to do the same thing from behind the chair. But what about the training? So the training gets a lot of, I think training gets more hype than education, because when you're in school, people are very anxious to get to the clinic floor. So let's talk about the actual training, what they're teaching us in school, that people say, now that may work in school, but once you get in the hair salon or the barbershop, that is not going to fly. So let's go there with that statement.
Okay. Just so I'm clear. Say it, you know what I mean?
So the thing is that, let's say like in cosmetology school, we're taught what's called the state board head haircut, right? And you're going to grid this hair and you're going to follow your guides. And so that's your state board haircut. But when you get out onto the floor, as that's what we call it, and you guys are going to hear that term a lot, which I'm sure you already have because you're already in the hair salon or barbershop. Or let's just take your manicure. Maybe you're taught to apply the polish, before the cuticle and come straight, then left to right and get the sides, right? But once you get on the salon floor, they're like, that is not how you polish nails. So talk about the training and the reality, of working in that salon, because maybe sometimes that state board haircut just really won't jive, or should you use the principles and then, because that's to me where I see a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that.
Right. Well, make sure that at this point, make sure that you understand there are two customers, right? There are your trendy customers, and then there are your customers like me. And I'm going to use your nail analogy, right? I don't give a shit about how you do whatever you doing with the nails. I just like a manicure, and I want my nails looking good, and you know what I mean? And then I do realize that there are customers that are very social media, savvy. They are nail nistas and fashionistas and hair nistas and naturalistas and all of that, right? And you do have to stay a little close to the street. That's where the fashion and all the trends happen. And if you feel, because of course it encompasses you on social media for your own stuff too.
Right.
Make sure that you have a very good breadth of skills, right? You have your traditional people who I just want it. Don't ask me. I don't care. I just want the results. Let me walk out, right? And so
Right.
you have that good structure and savvy and those skills, then that probably I'm your beauty school traditional kind of girl, right? But you do have the fashionistas that and all of them that's gonna want all the trends, right? So it's called continual education. You guys know what that is, people. You got your street and you got your social media beauty school. Social media beauty school. You have those things and you stay fresh. Stay fresh. That's all But because you already have the basics. Stay fresh to the street. Y'all know what to do. Y'all in the TikToks and make sure you have good street cred. Good street skills. Good street skills. And you should be fine, in my opinion.
Okay. Now I'm just going to add just a little bit, extra
Love.
to that. Okay. I'm going to say practice, 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 but not necessarily on the mannequin. I repeat, practice, 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 but not necessarily on the mannequin. I see all these, schools, they got these new curly hair mannequins, and it's not reality. Give away some free hairstyles on those days that your business is slow. If you already know, or maybe even craft out We at the Reverence Design Team Hair Salon, Tuesdays is our official training days. During it, we have about an hour and a half to 2 hour window that is always for training. The prices drop almost 50%. On certain services, especially coloring. Coloring, you're probably going to get coloring for free at the Reverence Design Team under my instruction, which you know it's gonna turn out the bomb. Y'all know that. I'm just saying, okay. That's on Instagram. Y'all know how stylists do it. So, but because, and the reason why I say you want to practice on real people, because the mannequins are going to help you with your emotions. So I'm not knocking the mannequins, but so that you can understand and relate to what happens to fingernails when they're wet as opposed to when they're dry, the skin, the pores, and, the shapes of lips and the condition of the lips, the texture of the hair. I mean, all facets of that tactile. And Cheryl, you talk a lot about how things feel and how things are. And you've got to be able to discern between what you're feeling and what's really in that educational part that you've received in school to make the connection, to make the best decision. So this is why I say practice, 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 but find real people, do those free services, go to those schools, whatever you want to do, back to school free, elderly care free, auntie day free, it doesn't matter. Utilize that time so that you can practice. That's also going to help you with your speaking, your people, because that's when you're going to mess up. And you're going to hear it right there. They're going to say, hey, that don't look like Kilolo color. And you get to learn. You can make all the mistakes because, like Cheryl said, you can fix it. Right, Cheryl?
Absolutely. Just know there is no better stylist or barber or esthetician or nail tech than a person who has fundamentals and artistic ability.
Yeah. So don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's like I don't have the money and all this, that, and the third. You could even ask the customers like if they pay that just to pay for the color. So if your tube of color is $10, then just charge them the 10. If your clippers, you want to invest in a pair of clippers, and the clippers cost 150. That means you need to do 15 free cuts to be able to pay. Block it off, give yourself a time frame so that you can make the money and go and buy the clippers. You're legal now, so you can do this. And if you're in a salon or a barbershop, I'm telling you, no one wants to see you fail. I repeat, no one wants to see you fail. Now, I know we hear a lot. No, salon owners, all they do is collect booth rent. They don't try to help. Some of them are not maybe there working in the spaces that they own, but there are people in those spaces who would help. You may have to ingratiate yourself. And if they don't, say you're in a space where people aren't really trying to help, you could do two things. One, use that social media to find you a mentor, or two, fall back and go into a space where training is provided for free. I mean, I'm just saying, you may have to really do that because you need to practice, practice, practice. And on that, on the last note, as we begin to wrap this up, now we have the 4 bullet points. We've got run and tell it. We've got education you've got to carry in. We've got, training that you've got to carry in. Now you're behind the chair, and now it is time to build, build, build. So now, where do these new people go when they have people who have just complained that you charged me and you were late? Or you took my sideburns up and they were down. My nail popped off. You gave me some lashes, and look at these lashes. Look at this she did to my eyebrow. Look at my eyebrows. The tattoo is permanent. How do they overcome the complaint? Now they got the complaint, and they got to survive it because it's in perpetuity. Once they can find that tweet, they can find that.
I say overcompensate to minimize the incident, accident, mishap. and the mistake. Don't minimize the mistake, maximize the solution. And you
That's a bomb drop. I got it. You gotta repeat that. I got the bomb drop. You said what? Don't minimize them. Say it again.
don't minimize the mistake, maximize the solution. So you get them all involved in how you're going to make it. At the end of the day, you own it.
At the end of the day, you gotta own
Own
it.
it. And the faster you do it, I was taught, Cheryl, do you like to be right? I said, yeah. My father said, do you like to be right all the time? I said, yeah. He says, okay, do you want to know how you can be right all the time? I said, yeah. He says, okay, when you're right, you need only be right. But if you're wrong, be the first one to get there. And there'll be somebody in the corner saying, you're right.
That's a good one. Oh, you're dead.
Uh,
Let's give Dr. Morrow a big round of applause. Nothing
does
like
that
wisdom. Nothing like wisdom. Nothing like wisdom.
right? Right.
But
Be the
what
first
if
one to get there and just say, oh my God. And you overcompensate and and sometimes, you over dramatize it. They'll be like, oh no, it's fine. Well, okay. Oh my God. They'll help you get there. Own it. We're professionals now. We're not babies. Go in there and own it.
And what about maybe going? Is there a point that they could, talking about continuing education, right? And so that's always a tough one because it's money involved. So where are new students or what various ways, not new students, but new recent graduates, now that you guys are in the industry, what ways can they get continuing education when the money isn't quite all the way there? So, and any people, places, or any creative ideals of how they can, pay for this or get this continuing education?
That's actually a very good question. I don't think that's towards them, though. I think that us as professionals need to dig deeper and get you. And I think that that's probably around your suggestion of mentorship, because just as you can endear clients and customers to you, find a professional in your area that does not mind pouring into you, doesn't see you as competition. They see you actually another person representing the industry that they love, and they want to make sure that you're servicing at a level that they are. You know what I mean? I think that is indicative of what we do as veterans in it, and pouring down and making sure, okay, I'm going to set aside 2 Mondays out of a month for you, and you come in and you talk about what it is. I'll come to you and I'll watch you what you're doing and what it is that you're not confident in. I think that's an industry, a professional, in my opinion. That's the industry's. That's our heart print. That's how we give back, right? It's not broke.
So, right. So, can they look? So, you're suggesting that in advance, like if you're about to graduate, you got about 2 more weeks or something like that, and you're pretty much in the throes of where you're gonna go. Start looking now for those salons and barbershops and nail places and skin spas that actually offer you guys the support you're looking for. Now, there may be a pay situation, but remember, it's opportunity cost versus opportunity gain. It's going to cost you to gain something. So you may not make as much as if you go to work for someone who could train you. But if you go into this loft by yourself, and you have these skills that are not quite there, what do you suggest for those who are like, well, I ain't going into no, I'm just gonna rent my loft, and I ain't working for nobody. I already gonna pay my money, but they need some help. because I see it and I hear it, and eventually they do come back and say they need help. So, what are those new professionals who are alone? How do they find help with more training and education?
Um, Once again, I will. I'm not. It has to be there in order for them to get it. You know, but one of the things that I do probably want to add, time is money, and if you waste it, it becomes an expense, right? And so you want to be able to, because let me just say this, that's how I made it in New York. I didn't know anybody. I'm coming from San Diego, sheltered as sheltered, but I had,
She said, "Shelter to shelter."
you know what I mean? So my point is that walk into, find your senior, the senior stylist or barber or person or neptic. They're there and they want something to do.
Yeah, if you're in that loft, go knock on the door. Hey, Shaniqua, I'm over here. Can I come and sit with you and get a little help? If Shaniqua like, hell to the no, go knock on the next door. You know,
They're not gonna
go
say
in
no.
there. Yeah, yeah. But if they do, go to the next person.
Right.
I doubt that they will. But you guys are in that community, in those lofts. So don't rely on the loft people to give you the education. Go to your neighbor in the loft and ask for some help. That's the best. That's your,
And
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
and call someone like Ladosha. See if she knows somebody in that area, or I may know somebody in a particular city. I may find them, and I'll call for you. And believe me, at the end of the day, senior and junior stylists know somebody in a particular area and say, Miss Kilolo, I think I need something. I know you're busy, blase, blase, bam, booski, wooski, whatever.
Right,
I do need, come on now.
right,
It's just put yourself on out there, but do have the time. Don't
right,
go there talking
right.
about
Make the time.
your
And make the time, make the time. But what you can also do is get ready to make the time for the 2024 Afro Hair Science Summit, because if you are a barber or cosmetology student, guess what? This education is free for you. Licensed professionals and people who are already working, it's very affordable education. But if you are still a student, then get ready for the 2024 Afro Hair Science Summit in partnership with the Brown Innovative Institute. And we're going to be featuring Mastering Texture 2.0, the dosha tones, all about coloring textured hair, and then the C-suite. So we got you guys faded here. Also, don't forget it, just in case you're like, I don't like people to know that I need help, or maybe I'm embarrassed, or I don't know, I'm scared. Remember, you can email us at afrohairscience@gmail.com, and we are here for you. This is our platform. This is why we wake up every day and do what we do, because we are all about offering solutions in a world of infinite income earning and creative possibilities of barbering and the beauty industry. So this is Cheryl and I. This is our commitment to you guys, and you can count on us to be here for you. Also, you can come back tonight and join us with Miss Jane Carter. On Thursday, we're going to have Dr. Leah Love as our first guest on the sisterhood in the name of Afro Hair. She's a multifaceted cosmetologist. This is something you don't want to miss if you are a barbering, a cosmetology, a beauty student, and you want to be multifaceted. Which Cheryl talked about that already earlier in the podcast. Then you want to hear from Dr. Leah Love out of Akron, Ohio, because this is what we do. We are here for you. I just can't say it any better way. Cheryl, you want to close us out?
I think we really, really hit it. I think this conversation is an encouragement to go beyond your pride and make sure that you're quite comfortable with your fundamentals and have some courage to go into your artistic world. Try it out, ask questions, and suggest. Would you like to try something new? You know,
Right.
and they may be stuck in something that you're not real versed in, But if you ask them to try something new that you are well versed in, you may be open to it.
Yeah, be open, but understand these four aspects of hating on new people. All right, they gonna run and tell it. There ain't nothing you can do.
Yes,
You can't stop it.
yes, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
gonna come with the fact. You got to bring your education and your training into the conversation. Use your passion to introduce something new because that's where your comfort level is. And when you make a mistake, it's a consensus. You gotta own it. And then, last but not least, if you're new, go ahead on show set, ask for some help. We're gonna be back next Monday on So You Think You Can Do Hair, and we're going to talk about what more can barber shop and cosmetology hair salon owners, what more could we do for you guys? So Cheryl is going to have a wonderful sound off of the top 10 things beauty and barbershop owners can do to make it better for you, the new people entering the industry, the top 10. So Cheryl, let's get that drum roll going. We thank you guys so much. Please don't forget to do what? Cheryl, show them how to hit that button before we get up
Oh,
out of here.
come on, come on, come on.
Come on,
Press it.
just do it right here.
Press it.
Bumper me on, bumper me on.
All right. Go ahead on like, share, subscribe. We're almost there, 2,500 subscribers. Instagram, you guys are all of that in a bag of chips with some dip. Facebook and YouTube, we love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. And we'll see you back at 6 o'clock with the one and only Jane Carter, former
Been there,
founder
done that, y'all.
of Jane Carter Solutions. Lies exposed. Deuces, my good people. So, you think you can do hair? Then join us every Monday at 12 o'clock on the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel.